G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 22 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. Last episode we killed the Logorian, and in this episode we're going to be starting with the Gloomwald, definitely the best area in the game, and then working our way up to Barrowholm. Now, something I've been thinking about is what to do when I get to Barrowholm, because generally speaking it's, doing air quotes here, better to side with Barrowholm, because it gives you access to all of their augments, it gives you access to more XP from their questline, and it lets you fight the Ravager with the character that you're playing. However, I don't really have a character that has access to Namadia's little cellar there, and I wouldn't mind being able to farm that. So I'm contemplating, and I actually haven't made the decision yet, but I'm thinking about siding with Barrowholm. One, so I could kind of show what happens when you do that, because I think I've done it once with the Reaper, and then I swapped back. But also just so as I can have a character that will be able to farm Namadia for the helmet and or medals and such. So I was also thinking I might I might already be aggro with the outcast, but I'm definitely not. Okay, so I'm going to have a think about that until I get there, and I suspect I will go hostile, but I haven't actually decided yet. So let's head up the road here. Now, I've already gone and turned in all the quests and sorted out my inventory, so I don't need to worry about that. I do, of course, have to worry about Aether Crystals, so I'm going to poke my head in there and just grab that. Also going to hit any others on the road that I see. I'm not too terribly worried about it at this point in the game, because I can always just go to Warden Krieg's laboratory and farm them that way. Too much stuff in the way there. Had to do it to him. Alright, let's get into the Ashes of Malmouth section. So, first things first is Draugr, the Keeper of Burrich, who I tend to kill for no particular reason. You can just run past this guy. He will reset before you get to a section where you have to actually stop. But I think at this point it's more or less just habit. Same with this section here. You don't actually have to kill any of this stuff. I like Aether Crystals though, so obviously I'm going to. I'm also kind of checking, is this enough with all the procs and things that I have? Is it enough to mostly kill things? Kind of. We will see if it's enough going forward. A lot of that trash is only really worth hitting if you're looking for XP, which I guess I am, but I am also decently in front of where I would normally expect to be. Not that being, you know, if I was level 86 here, that'd be fine. If I was level 76 here, that'd be fine. If I was level 60 at this point, that'd also be fine. The game scales with you, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, welcome to the Gloomwald. This is, as I mentioned, the best area in the game. At least in my opinion. It's quite good. I enjoy it. This is easily one of my favorite places to farm, even though I've been farming this place for what feels like decades at this point. It's probably been 2 years, so not quite decades. But this is definitely my preferred farming location because of the treasure troves, which will give you 2 rare crafting materials every single time you pop one, and also the totem that's not here. There are 2 totems every single time through here in this section. One of them could potentially be here. There's also, especially later, when you get, well, Nemesis with Barrowholm could potentially be here, but there's also a whole bunch of heroes through here, and let's just push all of the make things die faster buttons. Hakla is probably at least a little bit resistant to Aether, which is why that took forever to die. Excuse me? No, we won't be having any of that, thank you. Alright, so you can get a pack of heroes here. This occasionally will have 2 or 3 heroes. You can get, as you can see, a hero here. Pakla can spawn here. If you are siding with the Barrowholm faction, you can get their quest Wendigos here or here. So this section has a decent chance for getting multiple locations close together with heroes. This house here can also have a hero spawn in it, or I think most I've seen here is 2, but at least in theory you can probably get 3. Grab Nane's stash because, well, because obviously. And then once you get down into the cellar, this is one of your totems and also one of your treasure troves. Now the treasure trove will always be in here. The totem will usually be in here. It's about, well, it's not about, it's literally 50-50 on the totems. Judging by the fact I can't see it on the map yet, I think I got the it didn't spawn here 50%. Yeah, I definitely did. So I'm going to kill all this. Mostly I'm here to just reveal this part of the map. Right here is a spawn location potentially for an ancient Spirit Touched, is it? I forget the exact name. The undead one, the ghostly one. And of course we have Avril Lavigne over here. Avril Lasagna, I think it was. Avarice is a little rippy. These guys here, the Blood Singers, you gotta kill them first because they will just heal her. Also, occasionally, I haven't noticed this lately, so it may have been patched out, or I may have just been bad when it happened. So like yesterday. But I have had her just murder me instantly previously before. So I don't know what happened with that, but I literally went full health to dead on a, I think it was a Death Knight actually, which are not exactly squishy. So I have had Avarice just completely wreck my day. Not really sure why, to be honest. I looked through her monster database entry, and she's, at least in theory, doesn't look very scary. But it definitely, that character was dead, so I don't know what happened. I guess I'll pick that up. I wonder how I'm going for scrap. It might be worth dynamiting a few blue items to get some more scrap. And I guess we can run through here and grab the hidden loot. This sort of hidden loot, I think, is generally worth hitting the first time through an area, and then not really, because all of the fancy chests get replaced with regular ones after you hit them one time. Incorruptible of Mending. Incorruptible is a really good prefix, as you can see. Unfortunately, Mending is garbage unless you're playing a regeneration build. And even then, you want Golos rings. This little section here is also quite good because, not actually at the moment, but generally speaking, very large numbers of Wendigos. And usually at least a hero and upwards of, I think the most I've had here is 7 heroes between this spot and this spot. That would have been, I can't remember if Pakla can spawn here, but the quest Wendigos can spawn here and you can have multiple packs of heroes. It's pretty rare to see more than sort of 3 or 4, but it can happen. Either that or I'm remembering incorrectly, which also could happen. Okay, I need to start using Word of Pain more often for the resistance shredding. Death Sentence is pretty good, but I'm not using it. Alright, let's blast these guys out. Hit the totem for a little bit of extra loot, which is definitely good. Astral Mantle. Okay, Aether and Chaos Res on these is really nice. The Aether damage itself, not really useful. We're converting Vitality, which kind of is what it is. Okay, Overseer's Helmet is good, but using an MI helmet from memory. That's right, let's just pop all this and be on our way. I have learned how to craft the mythical Serenity Stone. Lovely. Alright, so this is the second of 3 locations for the totem on the outside of the cellars. The first one being over here, and the third one being way up in the top left. I would probably recommend, if you're farming this area, to just skip it. If it's in that top left spot, it's not worth running all the way up there. Alright, what do we got? Time Warped Walkers. The Time Warp proc is actually kind of bad. Having said that, these boots are a straight upgrade. Absolutely will be using this. Delete the time warp proc off of these boots completely, and I would use them on this build right now. Also, it's everywhere, man. I swear. Every character finds multiple full sets of Perdition, except the one that I was actually trying to play with the Perdition set, where it took me literal hours. I hate this game sometimes. Alright, so Time Warped Walkers will be going on at some point. When exactly, I'm not sure. I hate it so much. Alright, this is another section that can have just crazy numbers of heroes. It is obviously going to depend on what spawns and what doesn't. For example, if you get tons of heroes here, you only get one Pakla, right? So Pakla's over here, can't be here, can't be here, can't be anywhere else. So usually you're going to get one set of somewhat crazy spawns, and then the other spots will be, you know, one hero, maybe two. Alright, whole bunch of cannibals here, we'll take them out. That would be really, really nice if I was playing physical pistols. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys to die. Let's go ahead and stuff Mr. Torvin into a rift here. I've met your daughter. Yes, yes, I'm sure. Yes, get in the rift. There we go. It's not a lion, but get in the car anyway. Alright, I am going to hit Nane's stash. It's almost certainly not worth waiting to get the stashes. Technically, if you wait until level sort of 92, 93, I guess, and then hit them, you can get level 94 legendary items out of them. You are guaranteed a blue or better, so you can leave all of these and just wait and farm them once you're max level. I have done that. I find it's better to pop them now, and then, I mean, you're still likely to get blues, not purples. But once you get to max level, you just farm totems. Or if you prefer Shattered Realm, then, you know, I question your sanity, but that's fine. Alright, so I didn't get my totem in the first... Are you coming out? No. I didn't get my totem in the first section, so I'm going to go into the sewers. What is that called? The basement over there? I'm going to go in there. This is kind of out here-ish, is the other location, the third location for the totem that could have been here. You can kind of see, like, this is quite a big run to just get one totem. You can see why I suggested, you know, maybe don't do this one. But the totem is up here anyway. Now, one thing to note about this particular totem is if you did not kill Avarice in the previous one, she will be standing right about here. So be prepared to get jumped. Oh, 2 heroes. Hello. Hello, boys. Yeah, Avarice will be either here or where I killed her. So be ready to get jumped if you didn't kill her in the first place. But it's definitely worth coming in here, just for the loot, if nothing else. I'm going to turn the loot off, actually, just for a second, so as I can see what the hell is going on. Get out of the goop. And we've got a couple of blues. And a movement skill. Okay, okay. Not horrible. Not great, but not horrible. Let's go ahead and eat that. Yeah, none of this, and... I don't think I need any of this, actually. I'll probably need to go and vendor some of this pretty soon. Turns out pretty soon was now. Let's go and talk to Luther Graves, my favorite man in the world. I'd like to rephrase that. Oops. No homo. Yeah, we'll go ahead and sell this to Luther, and be on our way, I guess. We've got some more loot to pick up. I probably should, if I'm being honest, be checking for gloves. What have I got? Okay. Someone actually asked in the comments of one of my other videos, how do I tell when it's time to sort of get rid of a piece of gear and replace it? And the answer I gave was, it's kind of vibes based. if you feel like you're taking a ton of damage, one of the first things I'll check is the armor levels on my gear. And if I put my mouse on over here on the armor rating, and let's say my shoulders, chest, arms, legs, etc., all the way down, they're all the same except my head says like 900. I'm going to be looking at that and going, do I really need this chaos and elemental resistance and whatever other stuff is on there? And if the answer is no, I'm going to replace it. I would consider breaking resistances for armor upgrades once you start getting into the sort of... Well, actually, there's a really easy way to point it out, right? So my helmet at the moment is 2 to 400 armor behind the rest of my stuff, which is about, what, 15-20%? So I would consider breaking a resistance by maybe 10% to upgrade the armor on this. Having said that, if I'm in an area with silly amounts of aether resistance, I'm not breaking my aether resistance to get a little bit of armor. Same as if I'm about to fight the Ligorian, I don't really care if my cold resistance is not quite capped, but I care very much if my chaos or poison resistance is not capped, because he has attacks that do those types of damage. So, unfortunately, a lot of it comes down to game knowledge. How well do you know the area, and how well do you know what's coming up? Because if you know there's no poison damage coming up, then maybe you can live with 7% under the cap, 73% rather than 80%. There's always the chance that you are going to... There's always a chance that you can reflect yourself to death, so if you're playing an Aether build, don't break your Aether resistance cap. But there's always a chance you can run into a corrupted enemy and you'll take a little bit more damage from them. Or a lot more damage if you happen to, I don't know, maybe have an Aether resistance item with 60% resistance on it. Probably wouldn't take that off without a good replacement. That's part of why I say that the Mistwalker leggings here are... let's maybe kill this first. Those leggings are a trap. Once you put them on, it's incredibly hard to take them off, because look at my Aether. Well, I'm way over on that. Elemental, 37 each, so I can... Except not really, because this is 52% elemental resistance. So those pants in particular are very hard to take off. It is good that you typically find them in most playthroughs, just from playing the game. They're generally going to drop, which is good, because it does solve a problem. One of those problems being waffling while trying to run under a bridge. Yeah, so it does solve Aether and elemental resistances pretty much on its own, at the cost of being incredibly difficult to take it off. Alright, so I'm doing my usual run here for Rotting Stumps, because, well, it didn't drop here, but Ugden Blooms live in these Rotting Stumps. So, in my opinion, it is worth hitting them up. One here, another one, you come sort of under here, and potentially you've got one here. And then there's a couple more that I'm going to hit. So if you run directly to the east once you come out of that area, you'll find this triangle shape here. If you come around the top right corner, here's another one. Unfortunately, it was a trap. And then from there, you can run over here to the right. Someone has cursed me. It's probably me. I think I cursed me. He was reflecting. Yeah, if you come over here to the right, and then you can run down here, and some sunlight, and another Ugden Bloom, which is lovely. So I need to backtrack a little bit to head back up here, because Carax's Fowl has a heart, and I need to give it to someone, so we need to go and appropriate said heart. There we go, nice little bump of XP. And Carax's house here. I'm going to try something, actually. So I do a decent amount of AoE damage. let's just see if I can sort of stand here with right-click held down and just murder everything that comes near me. It's looking good, actually. It is looking quite good. Alright. Bog Girdle. This is the Soldier Belt, so +1 to all soldier skills. This is actually pretty good resistances on this. The Soldier Belt comes with armor percentage, which is very nice. But aside from that and some, frankly, silly amounts of resistances there on a belt, that's pretty good. I guess it's not completely silly, but that is quite good. Alright. And I should actually be killing these guys as well, because, again, they drop Ugden Blooms when they die. The really big ones can drop plants when they die, and then the plants can drop Ugden Blooms. And you're going to need somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 Ugden Blooms for a finished, in air quotes, level 100 legendary build with all the sets and stuff. So farming them while you're leveling up is the way to go. Alright, Moss Flinger and another Moss Flinger. Alright. They've flung their last Moss. I'm not going to stay for that guy. Let's get down to the Coven. So, this little section here used to really creep me out. Just from that hut, this house, which, by the way, has a lore note in it that you should maybe have a read of if you haven't already found that one. Yeah, from there down here to the Coven, always used to creep me out. I think the first time through here, I just ran into all of the hero spawns possible. And so this section was in my head as, like, super scary. And it's just not. Alright, welcome to the Coven. Let's go ahead and hit the rift gate there. I'll come back for you one day, I promise. And I'm going to vendor all this stuff, and then we will be on our way. Now, I'm still trying to make a decision, I guess, on Barrowholm. I'm leaning very, very heavily towards kill them. I mean, let's be honest, they deserve it. They're filthy cannibals. But there is definitely benefits either way. Okay, here's your heart. Find a lost friend, blah, 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 blah. We have a deal. Okay, cool. Quest accepted. Let's move on. I've already grabbed all of the lore notes in normal, so there's not really much point going to all of the chests around here. However, this one here does have hidden loot, hidden spoils. Unlikely, as always, to get anything good. This I was kind of expecting a few iron bits, but apparently you don't even get that. Alright, and I am going to pick up this quest as well. Just because I usually forget the witches, and if I see the star on the map on the way past, there's a chance that I will notice it. So, let's head on out. Are we using any monster infrequents from the Ancient Grove? Not really, although you could make the argument for a living ring. What is my other one? Oh, yep, Slithering. Here he is. I've been looking for these plants. These things are actually really good in terms of loot, because, well, they're really good if you're looking for the Ugden Blooms. Speaking of Ugden Blooms, we've got this one here right next to the big toe on the foot. Didn't actually see if I picked one up. I'm going to go with no, but it's a definite maybe. So the little foot shape there, here's the heel, big toe, little toe. I really, whoops, wrong way. I really like that foot. On the way past, I hit it pretty much every time. Let's go inside and pay a beating to Genaxia. This is one of the quests that I almost never pick up on the way through. I just do it, and it works, so I haven't really messed with the system. Alright, I'll either kill you guys on the way back, or you'll catch up, in which case you'll die then. Or the procs will kill you, one or the other. Okay. Now, there is loot here. I know there is. I'm going to find it. There it is. I'm pretty sure it was here last time, where I couldn't find this chest. It might have been one of the other, maybe the Undergrowth. I forget. Anyway, loot. It's in the walls. Okay, Genexia, what weapon does she have? She's got the cold one. That's fine. She's just kind of going to die here, and it's not going to be an issue. There you go. Have your own Inquisitor seal. You can stand in it and get some extra damage. There we go. Face Guard of Justice. What level is that? That is 68, so that's a lower level version. Which I should have known, because it would have mythical otherwise. Alright, Genaxia is down. Let's go on. Next step is... I thought you would have been dead. Let's head on out. You can do the Ancient Grove here. Shopping up a living ring is probably not a horrible idea. I'm also probably not going to do it. I don't think anyone wants to watch me run back and forth resetting the merchant, and I don't really want to do it right now. It is one of those things where you kind of have to do it in one go because it costs you a skeleton key to get in there. So you sort of have to find it. Otherwise, you just paid a skeleton key for nothing. Alright, let's head north here. I believe the next stop is going to be the Rift Gate. I think I'm just going to stop for heroes. And maybe extra large packs or something. Could stop for those as well. Maybe. Alright, there's level 82. I don't think I get anything particularly good at level 82. I'll have a quick look though. What do we got? 75, 65, 58. Yeah, none of this. This would probably be pretty good, except for the... I would like to wear this, except the Aether Blaze proc looks like something I don't ever want to be standing in. Definitely don't need these. I don't need most of this stuff, actually. I could probably sell that and get most of my inventory, or that last bag of my inventory back. No Ugden Bloom, unfortunately. Also, someone mentioned last episode that there was an issue with the microphone. I had a listen at the point in the video where they said there was a little bit of like a whining or buzzing noise. I couldn't hear it, but if anyone hears any issues with the microphone, please let me know. And where am I? Okay, there's Old Mate, who we are not going to play with. Old Mate, of course, being the Logorian's cold brother. Who I don't think I've ever shown on the channel, actually, during a leveling series. And there's a very good reason for that. And that is, he is quite dangerous. And I just don't think it's worth going in there. Mostly because he doesn't drop anything that I want, if that makes sense. Maybe when I eventually get around to doing that pet conjurer build, I should show him in that. Because that character would actually enjoy the shoulders, potentially. Right, we were skipping most of this stuff, weren't we? Definitely doing totems as I find them. Alright, turned all the loot off so I can see what's going on. And we'll just take these guys out as well. Okay, loot, what do we get? Nothing good. Sudden Strikes, I guess, is a decent movement rune. If you're into that sort of thing. It's all weapon damage and physical. Okay. Blade Dancer's Handguards, no. Ravager's Barb, no. Yeah, no, none of this, none of this. We can just get rid of all of this stuff. These things are really, really annoying. They do move a little bit, I think, from memory. Yeah, you can see it's kind of moving towards you. Like the Aether Tornadoes from Port Valbury, except slower, dumber, and brighter green. I'm still looking for the hero plants, but I'm just not finding them. Okay, Riftgate number 1. There is another Ugden Bloom plant thingy down here from memory. Oh, hi. And a friend. There's my leaf main horn, which is good. Now, old mate here is corrupted, which means I'm standing in goop. Because of course I am. And is it here? Yeah. There's also a nice little hidden area over here, which has Barrowholm the Mouldering Mound lives here. And he actually kind of hurts. I think I want to run away from him just a little bit. So I'm mostly watching out for attacks that I don't think actually hurt. But he does scare me a little bit. He hits quite hard. Anyway, this is where his house is, and I don't actually want anything from him. There we go. He's got his own little island. The weapon is familiar stuff from memory. Yeah, +2 projectiles to summon familiar. Extra duration on Call of Grave. +3 to 3 different pets. 2 of which you can have on any character. So, not horrible. Not amazing, unless you're playing a familiar build, I guess. I've already got one of those. Must have. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, okay, cool. And I may have actually been in the wrong place in my head. I may have just been completely wrong about the Bloom. Alright, give me the fire one. I want the fire plant. Come on. You're not the fire plant. These ones that have leaves can come back. The ones that don't have leaves don't come back. I should really be skipping this stuff. Yeah, let's skip it. I'm looking for as well, or I'm about to be looking for, here we go. Poison plant. How original. I'm going to be looking for the Undergrowth. As much as I hate that place, it does have a quest and an exalted stash in it. So it's probably worth doing. And the first potential location for it, Laria's Den, not worth going into just yet. We don't have the quest for it. First location it could have been is here. Obviously could have been and isn't. So I've got a little bit of searching to do. Which is fine. This is the best place to get it because it means you can rift out and not have to run back through that horrid zone. Okay, still stopping for heroes. Otherwise, no. And I'm going to kind of hug this left wall because the next location for... I mean, I am looking for rings as well, I guess. The next location where it can be is over here on the right. And it is somewhere along the wall here. I want to say here, but I'm going to run up the entire side of this anyway, just to see if I can find it. Oh, hello. Bloodthirsty Bloom, that's the bleeding one. There's one of those for, I think, every different damage type. The hard part is just getting them to spawn. I'm thinking that my Undergrowth is going to be at the last possible spawn location right near the Bog, or the, what's it called? Barrowholm. Don't really need to go in there. There is a devotion, there is a quest in there, isn't there? Do I have a Wendigo soul on me? No. Let's go grab one. We can let old mate out, and he'll be very happy about it. Alright, may as well dump all this as well. And all of you guys. Alright, that'll do. And one Wendigo soul. Beautiful. I may as well do the quest while I'm going past it, because I know me. If I don't do it now, it's not going to get done. If I was playing a pet ritualist and I wanted the offhand, then maybe. I'm also not going back to town to craft that for what is essentially just a bad totem. I'll just go find another totem if I want loot that badly. Alright, here's Ugdal. Are you trapped here? I have a Wendigo spirit. RIP. And we picked up, I think, that ethereal missive. You do trade the Wendigo soul for some sort of rare crafting material. Mostly, though, I'm trading it for XP, because there is a blacksmith just out the front of the city of Malmouth, which will let you trade between all of the rare crafting ingredients that were introduced in Ashes. I hit level 82 as well, didn't I? Okay, so these are maxed out now. Steel Resolve and Vigor, both really, really good. I am tempted by more AoE on this, but I also think this is kind of okay. And if I really wanted it, I would just go get another Living Ring with whatever resistances I would need to cover for this. So Bleeding and Vitality on a Living Ring. Bleeding might be a bit hard, but I mean, that's on the augment, so it's probably fine. More points in Word of Renewal is not a horrible plan, although, as you can see there, each point now is not getting me less damage, so it's every 2 points now. I think that starts at level 5 from memory. Over here in the Necro Tree, this is kind of the point in the character build where we kind of just have everything we need. I am tempted by Ill Omen for reduced target's damage. Also, Aura of Censure could do the same thing. Also, Horn of Gandar could do the same thing. I think I would probably do Ill Omen before I do Horn, though. This one spreading is quite useful. It's also really good at proccing devotions. I think for now, I'm just going to take the extra healing. Level 82 is another level at which you can get new sets of gear. Level 82 has, I think, a whole bunch of new tiers for monster infrequents. This chest here is always a trap. It's just a matter of where this chest is. So it's got a couple of spawning locations. It's always a trap, it's just not always here. If you could stop killing me, that'd be great. Okay, I am going to drop a Rift Gate once I get over here to this little square block, because I'm going to get the Barrowholm Rift. I haven't seen, I don't think, any living rings drop. I'm going to get the Barrowholm Rift, and then I'm going to rift back down there and go for the Undergrowth. So the Undergrowth is pretty much my either least favorite or maybe tied for least favorite area in the game. This is the third and final location where it can spawn. In here, this is the thing that really I hate. It's not doing it here, but just wait, you'll see what I mean. The character will try and run through an area as if they aren't there, but they do block movement. So you can quite easily get into the situation where your character just runs literally forever, or at least until your power for your PC runs out, trying to get through an area that's move blocked for. So like this, just running in the spot. I hate this place. It's such a small thing, but it really, really bothers me. It's probably some sort of mental problem because of that. Okay, Exalted Stash, always in the same place. I was about to be really excited there. I thought I got a higher level version of the shoulders that I really like. Sorry, I'll have a look at those in a second. I think that's going to be the prismatic whatever proc, the physical resistance and a whole bunch of other resistances that you should never need. Let's have a look. No, it's not. Fade from reality. Okay, +2 to death sentence is really good. Can I afford to lose 19 Chaos Resistance? Yes, I can. I am wearing those at level 84. So, one thing I'm noticing with this character at the moment is the damage has kind of fallen off. And there's three ways we could fix that. First one is actually getting Drain Essence to 26, which Essence Drinkers, I think, is the prefix would be looking for on here, but then I wouldn't have the Aether Lightning proc. So getting Essence Drinkers on other slots could be good. The other ways we could fix the damage problem is Resistance Shredding, so more points in Spectral Wrath, or more points in Death Sentence here. And these shoulders have +2 to Death Sentence. Fire to Aether conversion I don't really care for, although that will convert the Rebuke on Inquisitor Seal, at least partially. So that's not horrible. 70% Aether damage is good. Defensive abilities, whatever. And chance to avoid projectiles is always good. The Fade from Reality proc is a circuit breaker. 100% physical resistance. So that's a lie. You can't get more than 80%. So yeah, that is a lie. Okay, this might actually have been where I was struggling to find the loot, and I think I was trying to go through here when it was over here. So 2 little loot thingies here. You got a body and +2 to Drain Essence. I was just talking about that. And that's an Aether Blaze. That's another thing on the floor. They might be good as well. Alright, and I think it's time to go and sell some stuff again. So as long as I don't clear my Rift Gate here, I can rift back in and then just go back to town when I'm done. Those I'm all keeping. This can all go. Checking gloves, less armor, kind of whatever for resistances. My gloves, I do want chaos resistance on. But it's not the end of the world if I don't get it, I guess. Everything else I'm kind of okay with. So realistically, I'm only looking at gloves. These could be worth using. The Arcane Blaze is pretty good for the Aether Missiles. It would uncap my Chaos Resistance, which is not good. It would also, however, mean that I don't need this ring. And I could quite happily do that. Okay, I'm going to hang on to these for a moment. Definitely don't need the Blade Dancer stuff. Don't need these blues. I could probably blow them up, actually. I'm not going to, but I could. How much scrap do I have? 140. I think that's probably enough. Alright, so we're done here. Those gloves, I think I'm going to end up using. I'm getting a bunch of extra chaos resistance from the boots as well. And then over here, I'm losing chaos res there. Okay, we'll see how it goes. That's the wrong rift gate. Alright, so we made it. Old Love is ignited, which is kind of annoying, but not particularly scary. Let's just go kill her. So she's going to have friends here, and honestly, they're all just going to kind of run over to me and die. I'm going to shred the resistances on these guys, but Spectral Wrath is also going to mess them up. And then we just kill her. Okay, Living Ring is the correct base. We get Bleeding Resist out of that. We get Elemental. We get Vitality. Do I need Poison and Acid? I don't think I do. I think that's about to be my new ring. Yep. And I am sufficiently over on Bleeding that I don't need the Slith Venom anymore. Also sufficiently over to not need... I don't have another Slith Venom. Okay, cool. Survivor's Perseverance. Black Legion is so close. This might be worth doing a couple of bounties for, just to get Mankind's Vigil. I'm done here, so I'm going to go do that, actually. I don't normally do Black Legion bounties. In Ultimate, though, they're actually pretty good. You can't kill the Ethereal Vanguard until you get to Malmoth, except for totems occasionally. But what you can do... Ooh, what we can do... Yeah, we could go do the Immolation. It's a really good way to end up dead, though. I think I'll just do bounties, and that'll be fine. Okay, take a look at the bounty. Obsidian Throne, no. Next. Crafting ones are usually pretty good. Fleshwarp Commanders, okay, yeah, I can do that. They are very common in the Rotting Crumplands. So we can just head out here. There's decent chance there's one or two over this way. Usually there's a pack in this little Aether pile. No commanders here. You can also find them just outside of Fort Icon. I think I'm standing in goop here. The fact that my health bar is still moving is a little bit kind of pointing towards that. That's fine. There's a commander. Okay, so that's one. I wonder if Kaladrak counts as two. Computer says no, but that's alright. Here's another one. So that's two. There's no point heading into the Wasps, or the Dome of Terrans, because they don't count. I probably should have gone to Fort Icon, if I'm being honest. Or, you know, stayed in Fort Icon. That's fine. I'll find one more. Shouldn't take too long. Got some ethereals. There we go. There's another one. Alright, done. Overseer's Flesh-Warped Cask is really, really good. Overseers meaning you can take off one of your scaled hides for most characters. Or maybe upgrade / downgrade to ancient armor. What do we got here? Yeah, 28% armor absorption on a helmet with piercing and elemental. Pretty good. And I've been running around without a ring on. That's fine. It's whatever. Report in. Revered with the Black Legion. Right. So, Devil's Crossing rare. Honestly, I think I probably will just use 3 of these for now. Let me have a look in the plan, what the ring augments are. Alright, so level 90 is Era's Soulfire. That's Soleil. Level 65 is Dreeg. Veilworm Powder. So where's Dreeg? Cult of Dreeg on it. I may be able to get that. Let's go do that first quest. I could just go back to normal, but that's fine. We'll just poke our head in here. I don't think I need to do the quest in order to buy stuff. So let's just see. No, we're good. So Dreeg, we want Veilworm Powder for our jewelry. And Scarab Shell Powder for weapons. Have a look. What are we looking at? Powder, wasn't it? There is no Q in powder. Alright, so the honored stuff we can definitely buy. There's Scarab Shell Powder. One-handed weapons. Yep, so lightning... Okay, so I've already got this on these, don't I? Yeah, cool. I'll grab another one anyway. And then the Veilworm Powder is this one on rings and amulets. Can I actually... Whoop. No, don't do that. I'll just buy a bunch of them anyway. 36% Aether damage, and then some poison. I mean, for 6% Aether resistance, I kind of don't think I care. And I don't have a component on my Soul Catcher either. Alright, well that's easy enough to fix. It's definitely going to be an Aether Soul, considering where I am. Which is Wrathstone? Yeah, one more Wrathstone. Can't type today. Okay, one Aether Soul can go on that amulet. This is weapons and offhand. What have I currently got? Scarab Shell, Scarab Shell. I did just look at this. Survivor's Perseverance. Honestly, let's just put that on there. And then for energy, how is my energy regeneration? I probably do want to use it. I'm also thinking about upping my vitality resistance by using soul shards. But I think for now, I definitely want to keep the ring. And actually, let's just go ahead and chuck a whole bunch of this stuff in there too. There we go. Nice and sorted out. Get a little bit more room. Right. So that's kind of fixed that. Put an ectoplasm on there for now. If I need vitality resist later, I can do that. I don't have a boot component. What's my run speed? Well over cap. Yeah, I think that's fine as well. I probably should put like anti-venom salve or something on there just for armor, but that'll be fine. Alright, I think this is probably a good place to stop. Let's actually get the witches first, because I'll forget them otherwise. So we'll go to the Barrowholm Rift and run south. I think I am going to stop here once I've got the witches. And I'm going to leave you guys with a question. So comment below if you care. I don't show the Barrowholm Cellar very often at all. And I am kind of leaning towards making this character the one that I have that can farm it. So if you would like to see that, go ahead and let me know. And if you would prefer not to, go ahead and let me know that too. And if you don't care, well, I mean, that's fine. That's fair enough, actually. At the end of the day, it doesn't really make a huge difference. Alright, I'll go turn this in, and that is going to be the end of this episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Let me know what you think if you care. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.